what is Dharma. Anyone would like to read? We can pass the mic to make it a bit more interactive. We are listening for many hours, and that's a very commendable seva, but it's good to make it as easy as possible.
We have purposefully denoted Dharma as occupation because the root meaning of the word Dharma is that which sustains one's existence. A living being's sustenance of existence is to coordinate his activities with his eternal relation with the Supreme Lord Krishna. Krishna is the central pivot of living beings, and he is the all-attractive living entity or eternal form amongst all other living beings or eternal forms. Each and every living being has his eternal form in the spiritual existence, and Krishna is the eternal attraction for all of them. Krishna is the complete whole, and everything else is his part and parcel. The relation is one of the servant and the served. It is transcendental, and it is completely distinct from our experience in material existence. This relation of servant and the served is the most congenial form of intimacy. One can realize it as devotional service progresses. Everyone should engage himself in that transcendental loving service of the Lord, even in the present conditional state of material existence. That will gradually give one the clue to actual life and please him to complete satisfaction.
Thank you. The reason why I chose this quote is because Srila Prabhupada describes Dharma as that which sustains one's existence. And we can look at but apply the principle of Dharma at two levels. One level will be what is being described here as the eternal devotional service to the Lord, pure devotional service, Sanatana Dharma. And then we have also the Svadharma, or the present dharmas that we perform as devotional service to the Lord, in order to become gradually elevated, as mentioned by Srila Prabhupada, when he says that even in the present conditional state, we can perform that dharma. And the Srimad Bhagavatam describes in this very same chapter, chapter 2 of the first canto, Sutta Goswami describes, there are two verses very important, quoted by Srila Prabhupada, in regards to Varnashram Dharma. Any of the brahmacharis can remember? I don't ask Maharaj because he knows. Anyone can guess or remember what those verses?
Highest perfection one can attain by performing his occupation, duties, and forcing past divisions and orders of life to improve personality, godly, mode of reading.
Very good, thank you. So the perfection of Varnashram Dharma is the satisfaction of Hari. Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam. And then there is another verse, also very famous. What you were raising the pen?
Just stretch.
Anyone else?
The occupational duty a person performs according to his own dharma and nature, or is so much useless waste of time if they do not provoke attraction hearing the messages of the Supreme Personality of God.
Very good. So, Shrama Eva Kevalam, if we do not perform our, in this case we are discussing the Ashram Dharma, if we do not perform it as service to the Lord, if we do not develop an attraction for hearing and chanting about Krishna, we're wasting our time. So these are foundational principles to keep in mind. Next. Then this is from the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Narada Muni is describing Varnashram Dharma to Maharshi Yudhishthira. And before describing the Varnashram Dharma, he describes 30 principles for every civilized human being. Anyone likes to read, please?
These are the general principles to be followed by all human beings: truthfulness, mercy, austerity, observing fasts on certain days of the month, praying twice a day, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, control of the mind, control of the senses, non-violence, celibacy, charity, reading of scriptures, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements, observing the futility of the unnecessary activity of humanity, remaining silent and grave, and avoiding unnecessary talk, considering whether one is the body or the soul, distributing food equally to all living entities, both men and animals, seeing every soul, especially the human form, as a part of the Supreme Lord, hearing about the activities and instructions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of the saintly persons, chatting about these activities and instructions, always remembering these activities and instructions, trying to render service, performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, and surrendering one's whole self, totally initiative. These 30 qualifications must be acquired in the human form of life. Simply by acquiring these qualifications, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna.
Thank you. So we see the connection, satisfying the Supreme Lord through living a worthy life of service to Krishna and service to others. We see that the devotional service is described at the end of the 30 qualifications, the 9 processes of bhakti, and before that, all the qualities of virtue, like cultivation of divine qualities. And then in the next verse, Narada Muni continues describing, and he introduces the education or the principle of Varnashram Dharma, which starts since the life within the womb. Anyone will read, please?
Those who have been reformed by the Garbhodhan ceremony and other prescribed reformatory methods, performed with Vedic mantras and without interruption, and who have been approved by Lord Brahma are Vijjas, or twice born. Such Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, purified by their family traditions and by their behavior, should worship the Lord, study the Vedas, and give charity. In this system, they should follow the principles of the 4 ashrams, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas.
So we see here, this was the tradition. Traditionally, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas will go to the Gurukula and study in the house of the spiritual master. It was actually a school, so they were studying. So the point of this verse is that we need to become purified, and the process of the ashram dharma is part of the purificatory process.